We're pretty busy at the NFL Combine on Tuesday, February 25th, as Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson both addressed the press in the morning, before we officially start seeing some of the future NFL stars get after it. But they spoke highly about a few players that they're looking after, along with reviewing some of their plans. And the Bears are already speaking to a top player in this upcoming draft now. Before I get more into today's Combine news, make sure that you hit that like button also. Comment Y for yes or and for no. If you want Ashton GT to be picked at number 10 and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already to enter to win a custom Chicago Bears jersey of your choice. Win only announced this Saturday, but let's get into what you guys came here for today. As Ryan Poe spoke this morning with the media about the Chicago Bears plans and what they're looking for at the Combine. So quickly going into some of the quotes from today that Ryan Poles talked about. Ryan Poles was asked about what it's like working with Ben Johnson so far, and to be honest, PS was straight as an arrow and got to it right away saying, quote, "We want to be as close as possible with building this team. His clear needs and wants have been transparent, and his football knowledge shows that, and we saw what he did with the Detroit Lions during that time. PS obviously went out and got Ben Johnson for a reason, and knowing that he's having an inspiration on polls in his football knowledge pretty darn impressive, and these Bears have the fourth highest cap and also 8 picks at the draft in the moment, so they're going to get to work. But then going through a little bit more of what they talked about when Ryan P. was asked if Ben Johnson will have more say on the roster this upcoming year, it will remain the same. We're consistently talk about how we can improve this team along with that too. He did say that this is the most football knowledge I've ever had in front of me from a head coach, taking a little bit of a shot right there at Matt Eberflew in the press conference. But at the end of the day, it's true, and it's good to hear that he's treating his head with the same respect and level, because we obviously saw that with Matt Eber, and Ben Johnson is not running away with this team. That he's the head coach. Ryan Poles is still his bot at the end of the day, when Ryan Poles was talked about how aggressive they'll be in this upcoming free agency period. Poles then addressed it with, quote, "There are certain players that hit on all the boxes. There is no need to hold back," unquote. And right after that, he kind of talked about some of the guys that we're looking out for, but it shows that the Bears are wanting to take the best of the best, and they're going to be willing to spend and not go cheap on this. They know they have a young, solid roster to be built, and they're a few pieces away from getting to that next level. So I like this quote right here from Ryan Poles, as I think it's impactful, and it will continue to lead the direction of this team. Now, when it came to talking about DeMarcus Walker, they really didn't talk about Gerald ever, which I was kind of like, oh, what a shot there too by the press. I mean, maybe someone tried to, but at the end of the day it didn't happen when asked about the loss of DeMarcus Walker. Ryan Poes addressed it with, "There's a lot of unknowns in this draft free agency come first, and we're putting the puzzle piece by piece together. And the supply of players we have are matching our needs. So clearly they thought that they could go out and get an upgrade for DeMarcus Walker, who has been a part of this Bears team for the last 3 years, and cutting him saved the Bears $5.25 million. So wishing him the best. But the Bears clearly see that there's some needs that they can fill in through this draft and free agency, and that they're a large supply at the defensive line position, going through a little bit more when they finally asked about Trey Smith and what the Bears are going to be doing. All Ryan Poles said, quote, "I'm not going to get into players that are not on our roster right now." Those last 2 words, right now, an exciting cliffhanger right there, as he was talking specifically about Trey Smith. But we all know that the Bears are very high on Trey Smith. Ryan Poles was a part of that front office with the Kansas City Chiefs when they drafted him out of Tennessee in the 6th round, way back when, and Smith being in the last 3 Super Bowls, winning 2 of them for the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Ryan Poles has a connection and wants again the best of the best in order to check all those boxes and get protection for Caleb Williams. Then, on top of that too, excuse me real quick, was a double slide right there. On top of that, when Poles came to running back, he did kind of hint that the Bears are going to be getting a running back this upcoming free agency, or in the draft, saying, quote, "The supply is there and there the need we have aligned with."